Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the House of Holocrons podcast. We will be having Mike. He's just running behind a little bit at the moment. He will be joining us later, but as for right now, it'll just be the two of us. We are going to be talking about all kinds of crazy things tonight. We're going to be talking about the Mandalorian being pushed back. We're going to be talking about Mandalorian artifacts on Ferrix. We have a lot of really fun things that I think you guys are going to really enjoy listening to. So, first off, it's a horrible time without anything on Wednesdays. Of course, that's always bad. It's always fun. It's never really enjoyable when you lose the show you were watching.
It makes it feel empty.
The
week. It felt slower.
It goes by so much slower when there's not something to really look forward to on hump day.
And we have a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
And it still felt slow.
Super slow. Which is unheard of when you have a small child. Time does not go by slow. But somehow, Star Wars manages to use the Force and bend the wills, shall we say.
I like that.
Yeah. I am really looking forward to the fact that, of course, we're going to be getting a lot of new stuff coming out. We still should be getting Bad Batch. Did it get an official release date at the same time?
I thought it's had one.
It has had one.
It's
so did
February, right?
Yeah, so was The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian said spring 2023. That's what I remember.
It was first of the year. It was one of the first things we were gonna get.
Okay.
But if it's gonna be amazing, it looks like it's definitely gonna have a lot of action from the few things we have seen from leaks. The big thing was actually out of Brazil. Lucasfilm hosted one of the events down there and showed off some more footage and some newer things.
One of those being they're making it on Coruscant.
Yes, the big news was pretty much the fact that they're gonna Mandalorian season 3, not only I guess to to Mandalore, but also to Coruscant. Why?
Which
who
we can
knows?
Talk about in a minute, but that's my big question.
Luthen's armor. They know there's a nice chess piece just chilling there.
Maybe there's a lot more there.
Some beskar too. At this moment in time, of course, Coruscant in what we know of in the current canon timeline is now pretty much ruled over by gangs. After Palpatine and the Empire were defeated and the First Order were also defeated, the Republic didn't go back. The Republic did not actually whatsoever go back to Coruscant to rebuild the main Senate. What they would actually have done is they then moved over to the new system that was destroyed by the First Order and Starkiller Base.
Coruscant's not the one that gets destroyed.
No, Coruscant is not the one that gets destroyed. It was the new seat of the Republic. Now, Coruscant, though, being left all to its own devices, again, the gangs from the lower cities took over. The old Jedi Temple, which was then turned into the Imperial Palace, laid completely empty until what I would imagine is some gang lord probably moved in and turned it into their own abode. So if the Mandalorians, Din and his folk, do go back to Coruscant, no wonder they go back to Coruscant. Hey, we're forgetting about somebody. Grogu.
To figure out why he was
the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, okay.
There we go. So, it would make sense for them to have to go back and head to Coruscant for Grogu to find any artifacts from the Jedi Temple or, Imperial Palace that Palpatine would have kept locked away in some of the places there. Now, he also moved a lot of the pieces all over the galaxy, but if he didn't completely and utterly wipe all of the mainframe stuff, then they could maybe slice into it and find some of the old files on Grogu and, teachers and other Force users. And this could maybe lead us to find some other Force users.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's gonna do with a little bit of Grogu. Like he might get a couple memory flashes or something. Maybe too painful for him.
It might be it's gonna be very painful
because he's gonna have
to
take
a while to guess what we're gonna see again.
God fucking damn it, Dave.
Oh yeah, everybody get ready. You know it. You love it. It's time for more flashbacks of Order 66.
We're been doing so good with this show.
We're going to get so many Order 66 flashbacks from Grogu. So many.
I want to see him find, Sabine and all them, though.
That would be cool, but at the same time,
we can't... It would fit in with the Mando stuff.
Yeah, but we've literally said that about every single series and how the Ghost fits in.
Because it does.
Well, they're not going to put Rebels in every series.
I think they are going to put Sabine in this one at least.
You think
because
okay.
I think he's going to be going to find other Mandalorians. That's the main reason he's there. Because they've all been scattered. Yes. Absolutely.
To find other Mandalorians.
Absolutely. You know the best place to hide?
I mean, I'm sure there could definitely be a convert there, and there's a lot of mercenary jobs, but...
And you keep saying it's run by gangs. What if they're one of the top ones?
That would be awesome. Okay. Yeah, if they're like a Mandalorian crime lord ruling like multiple layers of Coruscant. Or at least making sure
there's some kind of order and protection for people.
Yeah, maybe.
Something. I feel like there's a lot of either Mando's there or he's going to be able to find a lot.
Maybe.
Through there.
I think it's going to be more just related to the Jedi thing, but
yeah.
We will only find out in March when the season 3 finally comes out. If they push it back any further, I will be upsetty spaghetti. I think aside from The Mandalorian, Bad Batch is, again, still slated to hopefully be around the same release time. We then also have the Ahsoka series to look forward to next year. And I would believe towards the end of 2023, we have the other A-tier series that I think, I'm going to be 100% honest with you all, I think it's going to be just as good as Andor because it has the same, it should have the same style of writing. Very intrigue, very espionage, infiltration, spyware kind of stuff. And then on top of all of that, we also, of course, have lightsabers and Sith superpowers.
Sorry, he took off running. No, I had to go get him.
Microwave BB?
Huh?
The microwave BB?
Maybe.
Okay. So I look forward to the Acolyte. Made a few videos already, everyone, so you can definitely watch those. Quick summary, though, is the fact that Daphne Keane had a recent interview. Daphne Keane is the actress for X-23 of the Logan movie. More or less, though, she said along the lines of this is going to highlight High Republic era Sith infiltrating the Jedi.
That alone makes me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've read any High Republic stuff, there's no Sith.
Not a single one. Nothing.
They're not mentioned. They're long dead. And it's just...
There may be a few dark side cults around, but they're not even like scary enough, or should I say threatening enough to the Jedi Order for the Jedi Order to even like comprehend them.
Yeah. The biggest Sith-like threat they had was the Vine people.
The Drengir?
Yeah,
the Drengir. Which were allied with the Sith originally, and that's who froze them. So, I mean, it could have a way of kind of like leading into that. We could learn about the Sith who did it. The only Sith we know of from the High Republic era is Lord Crawl. So, that's it. And he's only known of by name now through mention in Dooku Jedi Lost and a few other things from the High Republic comics.
Now, was he before the events of the comics or after?
Yes, he's before Phase 1 of the High Republic. So he may be during Phase 2 or he may be after Phase 2. He is one of the Lost, the Lost 99, the Lost 66? But
Order 66.
Yes. But he is a part of the Jedi Order that actually left, much like Dooku did. The Lost 20. Okay. Yeah. The Great Lost 20. So there have been 20 Jedi to leave the Order willingly in the age of the Grand Republic. And Dooku was the last, Darth Krall being hundreds and hundreds of years before that. Another thing with the High Republic that's been really good, though, is the Yoda comic. So that's what I'm liking, too. There is a review, again, on the Alexander channel. Feel free to check that out. It was a really awesome comic and really showcased a lot of cool Jedi.
I need to finish reading it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more about it, and I'm hoping, I don't know if they will or not, but I'm hoping they go into his backstory.
Just a planet? Like, one thing. One thing, since we've had nothing, would be enough.
I mean, even a mention of, like, Yaddle.
Yeah, well, I mean, Yaddle can definitely be around.
There's something with her.
Yeah.
Because I would, as much as I know it's like, I would love it if she was with Yoda and Grogu's their kid. Just because that would complete everything for me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, the big thing has always been about attachment for the Jedi. So as long as Yoda and Yaddle aren't like emotionally attached to one
Well,
another, then
or
they could
I mean,
reproduce, much like the Syrian males,
right. And
Kiadi
I'm not
Mundi.
saying like an emotional bond. I'm just saying like a admission
Mhm.
of like, yes, this is who I'm with, or we did something to further our species because we are like one of two.
Yeah, that's very, very true. That's a good point. Well, hello, hello. We have got our good esteemed friend Mike back with us, everybody. We were talking about the fact that, of course, Mandalorian sadly got pushed back to March, and kind of the fact that little like thing about the blurb about maybe going to Coruscant and the Mando going to Coruscant and how that could play into what that would be.
I think they're gonna find more Mandos there. He
And I
thinks.
think it's going to be going for Jedi relics for Grogu.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, totally can.
Yeah, I believe it was bound to happen that it was going to be delayed.
Mhm.
Since we had all the other shows kind of slowly being pushed back,
That's a good point.
I figured it's bound to happen.
Right.
Which I won't complain too much. I mean, it's not too far back,
Yeah.
and as long as whatever they need to get worked out gets worked out, I'm fine with it.
That is
I
true.
I'd rather have the shows more spread out anyways, instead of them all at the beginning of the year, and then we have no more Star Wars to watch. So
Well, I wonder if that's even like a part of it. If they literally didn't just push it back, because they're like, well, we already have Bad Batch, so why have two shows at once that are like big shows?
yeah, and plus they get a lot of other stuff they're worried about, because with the new hiring,
Yeah.
which they switched they got a new
Bob.
CEO, and then there's rumor that there may be some, maybe not Kathleen. There's rumor that Kathleen could be one. It could be somebody else. So
Mm.
I'm sure they're going to redo every time when the higher up, somebody higher up is changes. There's always going to be more change. So
Right. 100%. Um, but yeah, so if Din Djarin does go to Coruscant, that'll be fun to finally get to see post Imperial Coruscant and
yeah.
what happens.
As for Coruscant, I don't think it's. I think it'll just be it could be anything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be interesting though. Yeah. I doubt it has to do. I mean, anything, it could be him going back. Honestly, I think the most interesting thing about him going back, for in character, not necessarily for us, is
Mm-hmm.
probably more for Grogu,
Yeah.
because it probably is more PTSD for him if you think about it. Because it's probably
Mm-hmm.
where he escaped.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
something that
was
we.
something
Yep,
I brought up.
that's the what we said. If they do go back to the Jedi Temple whatsoever, get ready for another Order 66 flashback.
Yeah, which I have a feeling that's one reason why they're going back, because we'll probably get some flashbacks from Grogu.
Yeah, Clone Wars era stuff. Um, then we start getting on the topic of the interview with Daphne Keene about the Acolyte and the Sith infiltration of the Jedi Order, which that's going to be really cool. Because one of the big points I make in my other video is the fact that after the High Republic, the canonic timeline, when you look at the Grand Republic, it's no longer just called the Grand Republic era. It's literally, if you look at it from the Jedi point of view, as they do in the High Republic, it's called the Fall of the Jedi. So like they know like this is it. This is the worst time. This is everything went downhill from here.
Well, this point in time is when we're gonna get a lot of spoilers,
Mm-hmm.
because we're about to have a lot drop. So this is the most information we've gotten for the Acolyte.
Yeah, it really is.
So I think I know they didn't really say too much, but I think we're about to get a small trailer for the Acolyte soon.
Oh man, a teaser would be
It's
so nice.
it's getting close that they have to do it.
Yeah.
If not this month, at least in beginning of next year, I imagine. So
I guess I could see that because yeah, they're gonna need something to really pad out the rest of this and really bring intrigue and keep people subscribed.
yeah. And I
So,
think that's one reason they may be spreading it out a bit more, is to keep people subscribed.
yeah.
Because I think originally how they had it done, there would be a kind of a drought point until end of next year. Because most of it was around this time. Because originally we should have already had Bad Batch 2.
Yeah.
I
Because it
think
was around
originally
November.
the dates for, I think, Mandalorian season 3 were actually December, wasn't it?
Oh, the first like I think that was like
Yeah.
the first dates.
So, and with
Which I
Andor
really
and Visions, um, we had those so close together, which honestly, I think they probably should have not done
Mm,
that because then you start competing with the same franchise.
right.
I do like that this confirmed there's gonna be more Visions, so that's gonna be cool.
Yes, Visions. The second one. Now, the first one was white and blue coloring.
Yeah.
This one was black and red coloring. So is this gonna? For one, we'll probably get another thing with a Ronin because his character took off.
Yeah, there's
So
a comic or
there's already a
there's
comic of just the Ronin.
a book.
So yeah, yep. So he'll probably get another episode, but maybe this will take a few more of like the Sith side of things.
That'd be really fun.
Although I guess there really was a lot of Sith in the first one.
Yeah, but
I mean,
if
it's good,
went more
perfect
into it, that would be
timing.
really cool.
Yeah, it would work out with
It's
Acolyte.
perfect timing for Acolyte. So to do something with Acolyte,
Yeah.
um,
Maybe we'll get like some High Republic kind of anime based stuff. So it'll be a
we'll
little
get, one of them will be Palpatine.
bit.
God,
Yeah.
no.
Has to be.
If it's just
somehow.
the cackle, then
Well,
that's fine. But
I
I
do
cannot
believe-
more of that man.
Some of the people from the thing were reporting, from the expo, were reporting that there was, I think they said something about like Rex and Palpatine, in Bad Batch season 2, something along those
Yeah.
lines. I remember seeing Palpatine for sure, and then something with an older clone. I'm pretty sure it was Rex. So,
Yeah, that
He's
would make
the
sense
only
for
one
Bad
that makes
Batch.
No.
and then the rest, I mean, we really haven't. Surprisingly, they've kept a really tight lid on all this information.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten any videos or pictures from the thing in Brazil yet. Because
that
honestly,
makes me really happy though.
I mean, it's
There's-
awesome, yeah,
yeah.
but it's like
There's been a
it's,
couple pictures, but I feel
Mhm.
like that's been intentional. 'Cause
yeah,
most of them feel like really planted.
right. So then, I know one of the most divisive things that we've had lately, which to me is, I'm happy that that's really the most divisive thing, aside from other people who want to bitch about bricks and screws. Like the big thing is just the bell in the bell tower on Ferrix. I've actually now seen a lot of like Reddit chat and a lot of other people too are talking about like, you're telling me there's this much beskar on one planet and a single Mandalorian hasn't been like, give me that.
Well,
I
it's
think
that
it's a gift.
in this timeline too. If you look, the Empire is actually very interested in Beskar because
Mm.
this is roughly the timeline that Sabine develops her weapon, and that uses Beskar. What's what they
Maybe
use
this is
to
where they get
destroy the
most of it.
Mandalorians.
Mm.
Um, I doubt it. Because Sabine probably told them where to get Beskar.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is it almost it's a two-sided coin. It's like one, it's like they're rewriting it to change. This is supposed to be kind of almost the metal. Honestly, even in the old Republic era, is almost this mythological state that it's
Mhm.
this like legendary rare metal that can stop lightsabers and stop blaster bolts. That is even rare among Mandalorians to own, and that's the reason why it's so passed down. It's because it's so rare, and also not even on top of that, but the technique to smith it is even more rare, and that's also passed down as you see with the armor
Mhm.
and the Mandalorian. Her role itself is passed down because she's learned to smith, and where it's almost a religious, where they view it. Um, and then to Mandalorians, even the not Splinter group, to all Mandalorians, Beskar belongs to Mandalore. So finding somebody in Beskar armor, to Mandalorian is an insult, and they get to reclaim that if they can, which they
Yeah.
will. So
Yeah, I've
because but they believe it's theirs.
you're
that
right. So
You're
far,
stealing it or borrowing.
I think the best explanation I saw someone come up with so far was it is to a degree Beskar, but it is actually like really dirty, addled.
Well, you
like,
could tell that it's
poor
not
Beskar.
properly smith because it's still got the ingot look to it.
Yeah.
And
and you
see,
can see
that
that
was my
compared to the
thinking.
ingot to Djarin's armor, where it's
Right.
the
Smooth.
chrome, and
Yeah.
he never painted his armor, so
It looks like
you
the
could
little
Yeah,
pallets.
the beskar ingot, yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't think it was forged by Mandalorian because I don't think they would leave it in that state.
Yeah.
To be able to forge it to begin with is already a difficult process
You
because
have to
it's
have one of those
yeah.
forges, yeah.
And you also just have to know the techniques to work with it.
So that would make
Um,
sense if it was a bit dirtier. It was like 80% something else.
See,
I
but
I still hate the idea of it still because it's it cheapens almost both sides, not only the Mandalorians but also the planet Ferrix, because why did they have to get this legendary rare metal just to make them special? Why
unless
can't
you
they have
look
their
at it
own
as it was a
metal?
gift, it was a sign of respect or something. We don't have an
Well,
idea where
that's
Ferrix is in the
this
galaxy. Do we?
Mandalorians don't give beskar as a gift.
That's what I'm saying. It would have to be a high honor thing, and it would have to be something that they either won something or it was a very high honor gift or trade or something. Because one, we don't know where Ferrix is in the galaxy yet, do we?
I've tried looking, yeah.
Okay. If we can find that out, then we can figure out if they have like a very long history with Mandalore. And that is something that maybe they fought with them, they did a lot of work for them, they maybe built a lot of or mined a lot of stuff for them.
Even then, unless they completely rewrite it, what I stand from what I've read, beskar still isn't like something you give out as a gift. It's strictly for
that's fine.
Mandalorians.
But the
You
lore
don't,
is
like,
very
treat it.
fluid. It's been changing since day one.
Well, the other annoying thing about this fact that everybody's going over is the only source for this fact is the audio description from one episode.
Yeah. And it is, of course, they're going to reuse audio. They will 100% reuse an audio.
Well, it's the audio description too. You have to actually select it instead of subtitles. It's for the sight impaired.
Yeah.
I actually watched the episode. It's not far into the episode to hear the description for it. That's the original source. And then there was a quote in an interview, but just the same, basically same kind of description. But that's the only sources I could ever find about it.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but it's like the
But yeah,
histories are fluid right now because they are making so many changes to things.
Well, the thing about Andor is like the idea of there's missing the Force, there's missing lightsabers. Why do we have to still put in this mythological metal just to make their bell special? It was already special. It didn't need beskar to make it special.
Maybe because of how it sounded, because it has that ting, that special ting to it.
I mean, it could be anything. That's what I'm saying. It's we're making up a planet as we go along. We might as well just make up a new metal for that planet.
And that would help.
Because everything to them is sacred. So
it could also be like a small deposit of like a meteorite that fell to the planet, and they just mixed it with something from their planet. Like it was a piece of something that had developed on Mandalore and fell there. Who knows with science?
Yeah, I just think it's still kind of lazy writing. They wanted to make some special metal thing on this planet, so they're like, "What's special? Beskar." To me, it's still kind of lazy instead of just giving Ferrix their own unique thing.
That is something I think they need to go into.
And then, like I said, explain why the Empire and why the well, we kind of know roughly this time why Mandalorians really haven't put interest in it because this isn't a good time for them.
Right. They're kind of.
But still, the Empire would be interested in something like that. Because even if they weren't going to use it to make the weapon, that's still very, very valuable. Let's even in an impure state, that metal is super expensive, super valuable.
And honestly, after all the stuff that goes down in the finale, they're probably going to take it. Because it's a call to arms.
Oh, the Empire probably. Yeah, I can see the Empire trying to take it.
They're going to
take it. They're going to take it regardless of the metal quality or not. Because after what went down, they're going to shut that tower down for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that tower's getting shut down.
That's no doubt about that. The whole planet's. I mean, it was great watching them fight, but in the end, it's not going to be good for them.
Right. It was a really awesome, inspirational scene. I do love how the other thing is like how at the end, Marva literally said, like her actress, I guess the actress said, fuck the Empire, and they had to change it in post.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
so good.
yeah, because they already said shit, so like we can't cuss this much in Star Wars.
The director, I can't think of his name right now. He said through the whole series, he was trying to push the envelope with Disney to see what he could get by them.
Yeah,
So one thing that he snuck by them, and he was talking about the brothel. He was pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
He could have sworn that Disney would never allow that, and he got it through. He got a lot through, which was very surprising.
yeah. No, I mean, I was when I heard shit come out of a guy's mouth in Star Wars, I was like, what did I just hear?
You get that, and smoking, and
Yep.
underwear, and
Yeah, we have. Yep.
sex
Oh, man,
references, multiple sex references.
Andor's really just bringing it, which is awesome. Like I'm down for it. It's really cool how he's been able to do so much, which again, because it makes the world feel lived in. It's gonna happen. These things exist in this universe 100%.
Well, as Disney expands, they're also expanding their platform, like with
Yeah.
acquiring stuff from Fox,
Mhm.
acquiring the different Marvel movies. Since they have access to Deadpool now, maybe Deadpool pushes the envelope so far that Disney's like, okay, we'll accept it. Maybe we'll get a PG-13 Star Wars, eventually
Yeah.
an R Star Wars.
We got our shout out to Mace Windu because Pep knows that there's only one Jedi on my love list, and that's that bald headed Q boy. Which
Honestly, it's
happy-
surprising
I think
that a lot of Jedi weren't bald. If you think about it, it would make
yeah,
more sense for them to be more, to bald more.
a bit more of the Shaolin style, but
They want to
yeah.
go for that medieval looking long locks and gorgeous hair.
And it was like it's also that fun fact, you get into the point where like Jedi were allowed to enjoy things, so they could look okay, and they could totally do their hair nice and care about their hair. But it was the fact of like if
I think it was
if someone was
because
holding their hair and said, "I chop your hair off or I kill this person," they have to at any moment go, "Yeah, I can lose the hair. It's fine."
Well, I think the reason for the hair is so nice is because they are diplomats in a lot of
Yes.
instances. Before we get heavy into the Clone Wars, before then, a lot of times they were straight just diplomats. And even in the Clone Wars, a lot of them showed up from planets, hey, representing. We show up and we're just going to be here to make sure the discussions go right, or we're discussing the state with you in the Republic or whatever. So, and they already served that role. So that role does need to look professional.
Yeah.
And some of them show up dressed in homeless brown robes and stuff. It's like,
Right. That was a big part of it was the like the High Republic kind of shows the difference in that where they're no longer like the original George Lucas idea of what the Jedi would have been, which really was just a very Shaolin monk style, very
still blame Yoda for that.
bishop. Yeah. Yeah, I could see Yoda being the person who he was like, no, these things could be misled.
It seems that way in the going up into what we see in the movies in that era, post
And
High
that's the thing,
Republic.
yes,
He's
in the
he's so
movies.
stuck in old school.
In the movies, he
at that
can
point.
seem a little bit that way, but honestly, the new Yoda comic I talked about a little bit beforehand. The new Yoda comic really puts him in a much better light and shows how he is very much more. The only thing he cares about is balance and harmony and life and stuff like that. But he's just now so old by the time of the Galactic Grand Army and stuff that he's not able to do all the things he did in the High Republic and beforehand, which got him the super awesome.
Well, you imagine that's
Grandiose.
even harder for him for how long his race lives.
Yeah,
Like, he
exactly.
spent a huge period, and then he finally can no longer do some things because he's been so alive for so long.
He's been alive for so long that he can barely
I
do
still would
anything.
have loved his progression to the insanity he is in episode 5 and when Luke first meets Yoda, to have almost more of an angry cranky vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of what's that old classic movie? I say old. Was El Camino or whatever? The cranky old Vietnam vet.
Oh, sorry, what was
That's
that?
what. Oh, I'm trying to think. Is it El Camino, the movie about the old Vietnam vet?
Yes, yeah, it's El
Yeah,
Camino. The
that's what I would like to see. Because post Clone Wars, Yoda's this just cranky Vietnam vet. He just hates everybody and super racist and everything. I think I think that'd be so hilarious.
yeah, just
And
be
then he
total
goes into
flips.
this like crazy old man.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, think about when in the original movies, when you first see Yoda from the original trilogy,
Yeah,
he's a he's just like a crazy old little frog man.
hermit. Yeah, crazy little hermit.
That's
And
all he is.
that was the intention too, because he wanted him being this wacky wise mentor role,
Mm,
but they wanted to flip it on the flip it to where it's like this little green goblin looking guy that you would never expect it.
right, exactly.
That was the whole idea behind Yoda. Is it's supposed to be kind of an unexpected
Yeah, I know though. I am.
master Jedi.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the Acolyte though to see some of this old school. Or, I mean, it's old school comparative to the original trilogy and whatnot of the Sith. With the infiltration and stuff though, like I mean, that means we could be getting towards Darth Tenebris. This could be
Yeah.
the Masters before him. It'd be. I hope to get any more knowledge on Darth Bane's like full rule of two and like why he created it and like just pad out Darth Bane canonically a little bit more. Maybe
Yeah,
explain where he got the armor from that he wears in
I
the Clone
hope it
Wars.
goes so well because yeah, this is their first dip outside of the books
Yeah,
and through this era. And so a lot of people who only stick to movies and TV shows have no idea this era. So they're going to be heavily confused for starters.
and
'Cause-
I just
yeah.
finished Convergence, the first adult novel in Phase Two. I've already done Path of Deceit, and so far Phase Two has been really filled with a lot of political intrigue, which is why I think that the Acolyte series is going to have a lot of the great writing that Andor had. It's going to have a lot of that political,
Do
that
we,
shadow world.
do we find out who's directing it and everything? Who's writing or
Yes,
any of
yeah.
that?
The director is a female, or is a person. I believe a lovely little ginger person. Let me see here. The Acolyte. It's one of my top searches if I top in anything that says the AC.
So is she the writer or the director or
We have top. That's cast. We have a lot of cast, of course. Top picks, details, release date, production, language. Cool, IMBD. You're real helpful.
I'll have to do more research on it and seeing if they what they have in experience. Which I mean, it doesn't matter. I just would like to see what they've done in the past. We've
Leslie
seen.
Headland, creator of the Acolyte, and serves as showrunner and executive producer. Let's see what else she's been in.
See, there's Rain Roberts and Damian Anderson as producers. That's all I'm getting right now.
Leslie.
There's Rain Roberts, IMDb.
Cloverfield?
She's been with
Oh yeah, so
Lucasfilm for everything.
she did Russian Doll. That was her big
Oh, I
one.
love that
She's
one.
done Clover. She did the first Cloverfield.
That'd be good for the Acolyte, I
Russian
think.
Doll's really good too.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
she
that'd
makes a
be
lot
really
of
good for
very
the Acolyte.
mental stuff and very like you have to think a little bit, but
Good.
also fun. Because she also
Oh, yeah,
does a
that's-
bachelorette and sleeping with other people, or about last night. So she also likes to talk about sex. She likes sex, and she likes mental suspense, which is perfect
if
for
you-
Sith.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you're going to mess with a Jedi, being tempting with sex would probably be a great way of doing
And
that.
it's a mostly female cast, so hey, they're all very attractive ladies. But I think the Acolyte has a very good chance of being a really awesome show and could really lead into a bit more of the mature topics for Star Wars and Disney. I mean, again, they said shit. Deadpool's rated R. We're gonna get some crazy stuff here soon, so we could get maybe in the future more like a really just like the next Sith Lord, maybe in Taika's stuff or in the sequel trilogy era based movies coming out later, like probably another 5 years or so. The next big Sith Lord could be a super evil, just bad guy. Like make Palpatine look like nothing. Which I would hope. I would love if we
Yeah.
could overshadow Palpatine.
Oh yeah.
Watch that taste
I would
out
like
now.
to.
Yeah.
I would like to show that there can be somebody more evil or just as bad as Palpatine.
Well, I mean, go to
Yeah.
any of the ancient Sith. Like with my theory on all the masks they've brought into
Yeah.
recent and how it could
Well,
be an
I
ancient
mean,
Sith
yeah,
coming.
in the Old Republic there was a
Yeah.
ton of that were way worse than him.
Oh, dude, the Sith in the Old Republic, they're like, wait, these guys don't know how to live forever? Like, we all figured that out. It's just one of us getting strong enough to do it has been a real pain in the butt.
Well, they'd be more like, what, you need a Death Star to take over the galaxy?
Oh, weak. I just kill a whole planet with my mind.
I absorbed their entire life
Yeah,
force.
hi,
What did you do?
I'm Darth Nihilus. I just ate a planet. Oh, you need a big laser beam?
And honestly, I want it to be a female for the next like big Sith.
Well, that's my thing is with the Acolyte, they could play that because who's the number one female that we have after Darth Bane? Darth Zana, his apprentice. And that would be really awesome because Darth Zana uses a like specialized dual bladed saber. So it would, it'd be very different. She looks very different. She acts very different. And if it was Darth Zana, that is how we could directly learn lore from Darth Bane.
Yeah, I would love to get almost a kind of. I don't want to get the clone for clone, but almost a way of how Marvel movies handled it, where they very very little bit teaser and then it's slowly expanded and linked together to finally find out that it's the big evil Thanos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Take
I
your
would love
time.
to have something like
Man,
that.
we don't need every series to wrap up like
We
perfectly.
think we know who the bad guy is, but it's
It's really been this like secret thing.
They
in the back.
kind of did that with Snoke.
They tried.
They tried. He tried. Not very hard.
But
They
if
set it up.
if we
They
didn't
set
have
something
two
up, but,
directors and writers trying to
And
like
one completely
fight,
trying to shit on it.
yeah, trying to fight each other over.
It was
yeah.
literally the telephone game, the movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Had those things not happened, I do believe Snoke could have been an absolutely stellar Sith. I hate that he was a pup. Like I wouldn't mind.
I hate that he was a bad
literal
clone,
puppet.
too.
Yes, a literal back to clone puppet. I wouldn't have been near as mad had Palpatine just trained him and like found him on some distant planet in the far off regions of space on like Exegol or something. He's like, oh wow, there's a lot of these crazy Sith left from this Sith Eternal Cold. Like,
which
me and you, we could sit here and spitball a way better cohesive story.
It would have been cool if it was.
50-50.
One thing I was originally, I
Hindsight's
was
20/20.
hoping it was like Darth Plagueis, like somehow,
Yeah,
like some like
never actually
Palpatine
died.
couldn't actually kill him, or like Palpatine was like using him to suck the life force out of him to keep himself alive.
that
and
would have
then
been
once-
cool.
Palpatine's gone, then he's like, all right, now now I can finally do something.
Right, now that he's not leeching off of me, I can finally heal myself.
And then it'd be like he's even worse than Palpatine. Palpatine was actually doing y'all a favor.
Yeah.
It was holding him at bay.
See, and the only thing worse than Palpatine that we already have is like Yuzong Vong. They're way worse. They're disgustingly worse.
Yeah, that's something they're gonna have to build up to, definitely.
I doubt Disney would use them, but I'm all for it.
You know, we said that we doubted they would have rated R, and we're getting it. So
I just think the Yuzong Vong aren't, because what it leads to as well isn't very franchise friendly. Aside from getting to Darth Talon, because why they haven't thrown Darth Talon into something yet, just to make money off of her.
It's not. It was before. It wasn't the ideal. Just imagine
She's too
having her
sexy.
walk around
Yeah.
in her walking around in the Disney park.
It's like there's a line of 30 to or like 21 to 45-year-old men just like, I need a picture with her. She just comes out, takes pictures for 8 hours straight, walks back
they
into
would
wherever she
have
was.
to do so many edits to make sure she's
so many
wearing something
pictures
even
with their-
remotely appropriate.
So many pictures with their children. Like, yeah, go over there. I don't even know. It's like, she scares me. She's scary. No, get in the
No,
picture
that's
now.
gonna be your mother-in-law. Shut up. But yes, no,
But yeah.
The Acolyte I think could really, really push the envelope for like new writing. But again, because it allows for so much intrigue and stuff, Bad Batch is gonna be fun. Bad Batch is always going to have a little bit more humor than the other ones do because the animated series can be a little bit wackier. It's fine. It's totally worth it. That's the
I
point of
think
doing animated.
I think it will be less humor though because we're gonna have a slightly more older and mature. Can't think of her name right now.
Omega.
Omega,
Oh yeah, but it's
and
not
like
Omega
like yeah,
who's the silly one. It's Rex. It's Rex and Wrecker.
and then I hope they continue it to at least like 3 seasons. They shouldn't go too far with it,
Yeah.
but I want to see like a progression of like how the
There's a
change of
lot
the
of people.
empire
Yeah, because there's a
puts
lot of
them.
people who either need to die or we got to figure out why they weren't in the original movies. That's the only issue with this timeline. Is why
I,
and that's another reason I look forward to the High Republic and stuff because it's like
I
there's
think
such an open
yeah,
playing field there. You're
I
not
think
gonna run into anything.
killing the Bad Batch kind of a kind of like a Rogue One style probably necessary eventually.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
don't
want to
think
say
so.
it, but I think
We're-
they have to eventually go away.
What
I
would
don't think so.
they
I
wouldn't
think
have joined the
could be-
rebellion?
They could have been in a different area. They could have been doing something else.
They would not have heard about the rebellion.
They could have been part of it, but in a different area, and not dead center on it. There are a million other things that have to happen within anything like that.
I think
There's just a
but
lot of
I
final
think
assaults like Hoth and stuff where I think they would have used a super soldier team.
Okay.
well I think
I think
well
that
also
you're- I
too
think
is
they're
their lifespan's got to be cutting short soon
No,
anyways.
yeah, there's
'cause
that as well. Yeah, with Rex, they can't live past the Battle of Endor pretty much because that's the last time we see what was Rex.
Well, Rex is also a special case, because he's considered part of the leader echelon. So even though they themselves are a special case, but Rex is kind of a even more specialer case.
Yeah,
Um, I think it would be good writing to eventually have to kill them all, and Omega survive, because I think that would be great character
yeah.
growth for her.
I 100%
And
would see
then
Omega surviving and
and
show up
then
in Book of Boba
add
2.
her as a great character. Whatever we get on, from if we because we're gonna see more of this. We're getting another Andor season. We're getting another everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're never gonna leave this period alone. So
Right.
I think it'd be pretty interesting to see her story post Bad Batch.
Yeah. Yes, I think
Also,
her story.
great conflict.
Yeah, great conflict. Great
Yeah,
great
'cause
character building for her to and
kind of like a
the mission that goes wrong kind of thing.
you know, the other ones like they have with Rebels or anything where they have, but like with the Ezra, where they always start out immature. They did the same thing with the Clone Wars, and then bad things happen, and then they have to mature because well, that's what
Yeah.
happens. And I do still want to see her have the tune. I'm usually when it comes to stuff like this, I'm usually anti-force, but I feel like it'd be cheap to her if she didn't get the force.
Yeah, she was the
I
one
think
that the first Force Attune clone the Camino and said made. Yeah.
the only person
Makes
who
sense.
that it
Common knowings.
isn't a crime to give
Mhm.
force powers to other than
Right.
her would be a Finn. He should have gotten them a long
Yeah.
time
Oh
ago.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Finn and Omega are honorary Jedi. Here.
That'd be cool though if she does figure it out,
Yeah.
and then she shows up and like is talking to Boba, and then does something with the Force, and he's just like, "The fuck?
That's not fair.
Why'd you
so-
get it and I didn't?"
So we get the new Mandalorian season after Mandalorian season 4, and then finally Grogu gets classes, the new Jedi Academy. So we have Ben Solo, we have Grogu, and then we have Omega all in the class together.
Yeah. And there are a plethora of
So I think
blonde
Omega'd be way too
Australian
old for
/
that,
New
but-
Zealand actresses that could totally play Omega in multiple time ranges. It is
Omega, I
not
think
hard.
Megan
There's
would
a
have to
few
be kind
right
of an
now who
instructor,
could play
though.
her age the same as Boba.
Yeah, easily. There are so many people who could play Omega. That you could shake a stick in a casting
Yeah.
room and find an Omega.
I wonder if
Which
Boba,
ones?
if like he got to know her, would actually consider her a sister since she's unique. just like him.
With her being unique, and if she like earned his respect on like missions and like in the
That would, I
field,
think, have to be
then
the
yeah,
big
yeah,
thing.
it would definitely have to be through respect.
Well, he always hated the clone aspect, so it would be
That's
difficult for
the other
him.
thing.
Yeah. If anyone, everybody dislikes the clones at this point, but if anyone hates the clones even more than anyone else would be Boba.
Right.
Because I mean, they're the reason his dad was killed in a weird
Well,
roundabout way.
And you're literally seeing your dad everywhere at that point too.
Yeah.
And then the basically the people that killed him are using the copies of your dad as
to
tools.
fight for them. Yeah, exactly. It's just a huge spit in a wound with salt. It's just it's not fun.
You're clone yourself, so it's a weird.
Right. So I definitely think I mean, and then we got Skeleton Crew, which again we know nothing about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
We know that Jude Law
Law's
is in it.
Jude Law and some kids.
That's it.
That's it. Ahsoka series. We haven't really gotten any leaks or crazy. That's been held down really tight on the Ahsoka series.
We got some stuff in the last expo, but very little, very little. We get just like pictures from I think we got the wall from Rebels. We got
Sabine.
Picture of her. Yeah. We can find out that Sabine is in, and the actress is going to play Sabine. So that's very interesting going forward. They didn't change the date on that one, did they? I think the only ones that was just Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's just Mando so far that's had to change a date. But I think Ahsoka hasn't even had like a month put down yet. It's just like spring, summer 2023.
And my wife will be very excited for that one.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely have over here. We'll have a Ahsoka-thons definitely multiple times.
Yeah. Skeleton Crew.
Could be interesting. Again,
do you think? What do you think it'll be like? Do you think do we even? Do we know if it's supposed to be live action or animated?
I believe it's live action, but it's Jude Law. All I know of it's Jude Law and some children trying to conserve trying to on like a derelict ship or something, trying to survive, or something like that. Like something's wrong with their ship or a space station or something, and they merely have to survive and like find help. But it's mostly Jude Law and some kids. So in a sense, I'm wondering if he's like a Jedi Master and it's a whole bunch of Padawans.
Ooh.
Do you think it's post Order 66?
Ooh.
I guess separated.
Right. Got separated and yeah.
That's good. I think
because they're definitely. I think if anything else, they either have to start building to create the next like series of shows and make us more interested to keep us, or they're building now towards the next movies, and they need to start. They're gonna have to introduce some stuff and pad things out for us to even give two shits about anything that comes out movie wise, and not in the sense that like no one cares about movies anymore, but like.
Oh, they did say when it's supposed to be set, by the way. Just say
they did? Okay, when
it's supposed to be set after Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Okay, so
it's centered around a group of children lost in space.
So Lost in Space. Skeleton Crew kind of gives me the image of like working on a station or something, like the bare minimum, bare bones.
Literally Star Wars Lost in Space.
So.
Like the show and movie
Lost in Space, but Star Wars.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I mean, I'm excited for anything, but I think that would be really cool. That's
the code name for it is interesting.
What was the code name?
It was. They didn't say when. It says 2023. The code name is called Grammar Rodeo.
Grammar Rodeo, nice. I mean, with such a open thing like that, it could be that he's a pirate who becomes a heart of gold and saves some kids, or he is a Jedi, or they are force sensitive and that's how they survived this long. And he's an Inquisitor.
They were imprisoned on the second Death Star, and when it blew up, the pod flew out.
Yeah.
Or they were Inquisitors in the crystal. Ooh.
Oh, like in the Inquisitorum.
Ooh. unless they die, which we don't know.
Most of them are dead in there.
If he's pirate, what if he's like one of Hondo's people or something, or there's ties to Hondo?
He brings in. He's the one who. That's how we get live action Hondo Onaga, or just mentions of him.
I would be surprised if he doesn't show up in Ahsoka, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I could say that.
He's got to show up
they've
soon.
already made a live action, basically, version of him at the parks. I mean, he's not live.
Yeah.
He's a live action. But...
Yeah, there's a really, really good animatronic at Galaxy's Edge.
I mean, I feel like he needs to show up maybe even in Mando. Or, Boba. Because he has ties to Boba.
Nah. The best way for him to show up is Andor.
God. Everybody's so like traumatized and
right. There's like Luthen
knows him.
Right, Luthen knows him because he's gonna get some weapons from him. And he's like, no, I have this guy. We gotta go get some stuff from this guy. Come on, Ender. Let's go.
Talk to him.
Just don't talk to him. He never shuts up.
I want to see a deal between him, Luthen, and Watto. You try to make a deal between all three of them.
That'd be amazing, though. Cassian and them all just come in.
I want to see if Luthen is the tie between this. He sets so many ground rules for Andor and Cassian, and just be like, do not talk to him. Do not let him talk you into anything.
Do not touch anything. Do not grab anything. If you
can't see Luthen having the patience for him. I can't see it.
But he's all that's left, man. He'll get you the stuff. He's good. He's Hondo.
I mean, he's not reliable, so there's that.
Yeah. Who is?
But he's got a heart-ish.
Yeah, he'll help. You help him.
Is there money? Then yes.
That would be hilarious. I would love to see Hondo. I feel like the next Andor 2, if nothing else, I feel like a cameo I'd like to see in Andor season 2 would maybe like a bounty hunter. Nothing too crazy, not a Jedi, no, still no lightsabers, but Dengar
it'd be cool
or
to
something.
Or just a new bounty hunter in general.
Yes.
We'd have to have Leia. Young Leia.
For what?
Because she's starting to tie into stuff.
Oh, we ain't gotta have
Leia. I mean, we kind of already should have had Leia with because this period in time she should already been apprenticing under Mon Mothma at this time.
Well, I feel like maybe which I guess no, never mind, because even the Empire knows at this date and time that Alderaan is like the number one like supporter for all rebel cells.
Yeah, we need to see her. We need to see her dad. I'm really shocked we didn't get to see her already.
Not seeing Bail Organa was definitely a little strange because if he's not in it, who is?
We have to for sure see it next season.
Yeah, if Bail Organa's not next season, that will be the first like mistake I will say that Andor kind of made.
That's what I was waiting for Bail Organa to introduce the daughter.
We have to see her, Leia, Bail, and the rebels.
You every single show you want the guy you love Hera and Chopper, we get it.
It's not because of that though. It's because they are.
But they can't. They're not going to reuse an asset that much.
They're kind of key in the rebellion though.
Well, the problem.
Good thing their story's been told.
The problem with it is the reason why we never saw it is the director doesn't know a lot about Star Wars. That's the reason why he saw a lot of new stuff, and that was his thing. He didn't want to do any Easter eggs. That kind of got snuck in there. He just wanted to kind of do his own thing, and it worked. So,
yeah.
I think, like I said, I think one thing that made this show so special is it wasn't special. And if you think it wasn't like the only special name in it was Andor, and from Rogue One he wasn't really that crazy.
Yeah.
I think the only most ridiculous thing I saw him do was in the last episode when he does that diving shot at the Death Trooper.
Yeah, takes him out one hit.
Really insane to do, but okay. I guess I'll let that crazy shot to go because that's really dumb.
Hey,
he does that diving ball shot.
Dumb luck is a thing.
It was dumb and it was luck.
I think if they do introduce somebody big, I think Leia being there, being as a minor support role to Mon Mothma's storyline would be interesting. I don't think having a focus on her hardly at all. If they want to do more of her storyline, I think they should do like a season 2 of Obi-Wan, but call it Leia. I don't
Oh yeah, yeah. I would prefer if it's gonna be heavily about Leia for her to get her own thing too.
Well, and I
know.
don't want her heavy.
I-
I just would like a little bit. And same thing with the Rebel. Like, just like a quick little.
You're gonna get him in Ahsoka.
Okay.
And I
And
will
then
give you the fact that Sabine could be in Mandalorian season 3 because he's gonna definitely be looking at Mandalorian stuff. But like,
And especially since she has ties to the Darksaber.
yeah, and Bo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sabine technically should be the last wielder.
That's why I think
minus
she has
the
to come
Empire.
back.
Yeah,
So, if something happened to, I don't know what something happened to her.
Because even if he can win it, he still has to get it from her because she was the last one with it that had it.
and then
Well,
she
and
just freely gave it to
technically
Bo, and then Bo lost it.
Yeah, she's always been a mess. I guess that's one thing that's going to be great for her being, I guess, the kind of sort of antagonist is what the idea is
Mhm.
for Din
Got
Djarin.
a good comment over here. The Squalablop newest high priest. Skeleton Crew sounds like an entire series off the idea from where Padawan lightsaber building episodes where Hondo attacks the ship, which where that's where we see Gungi build his lightsaber and stuff. I kind of got the same vibes off of that, but with Skeleton Crew. But if it's going to be set after Return of the Jedi, that's just going to be very different. Maybe Hondo shows up in Skeleton Crew. Mandalorian / Ahsoka is just Prime Rebels era. It is. It really is. Mandalorian and Ahsoka definitely is Prime Rebels territory. And we know we're getting Chopper and Hera, or we know we're getting Hera in Ahsoka, and that means we're getting Chopper, like because it's what it means.
Hera without Chopper.
Speaking of Chopper, we had to go back and watch an episode of Rebels recently, actually, because we had the droids Lego stuff on for our 1-year-old, and then we were watching it mostly because the droids things. Lego makes hilarious stuff. There is a episode though where Chopper and R2D2 get in a fist fight, and Chopper annihilates R2D2.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And we were just like rooting and cheering.
Having arms helps, okay?
Having arms. R2D2's got those little arms in the front. He's got one pincer and a shocky thing.
R2D2 has experience.
Yeah, he
but
does.
R2D2 has standards. Chopper doesn't have standards.
No, Chopper has no standards.
Chopper doesn't care at all. So here's the thing, though, because that episode is supposed to be from C-3PO's point of view.
Yeah.
So he has no faith in R2 beating Chopper.
I love that C-3PO just like is nagged so much by R2D2 that he's like, I love R2D2. He's my soulmate. But I would really love it if Chopper beat the shit out of him. To take him down a peg.
Chopper's he definitely has a couple bolts missing, and that's his whole deal. He's off his rocker. He's a little.
He has not had a memory wipe since Hera was like 5.
And
Probably had it when he got crashed, and that's it.
Maybe, yeah. And yeah, since then he's been shot at and kicked and thrown in sewers,
blown up things.
Yeah,
killed a bunch of people.
He didn't have an OP Jedi doing most of the work for him.
Exactly. It was just him and this Twi'lek pilot, and he's got a lot of things to do. So he blows up Star Cruisers sometimes.
I forgot about that.
Sometimes Chopper realized what is it?
He's pretty up there on the death count.
Yes, it's more or less like it's the guy who blew up Alderaan, and then you have Luke for blowing up the Death Star, and then you have Chopper.
Not counting the Old Republic.
Not counting Old Republic. That's not fair because again, those Sith wiped out like sectors.
And then the pilot that suicided into a Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
that was the Vader one, I believe.
Yeah, and then of course we have like the thought bomb from Darth Bane in Rusan. That's crazy. But that's like, does that even count as killing anyone? Because it doesn't kill them; it traps them inside of the thought bomb.
What?
Thought bomb.
Such a weird combination of words.
Yeah, thought bomb. It is not a bomb of very lewd women.
I didn't even think about that.
That's all I heard at first. I'm like,
it's one of those things when you come up with it, at first it sounds great, but we
Yeah.
need somebody else to point it
Yeah,
out to.
you
That
need like
wasn't-
5 other guys to be like, the what bomb?
Well, because that's
Yeah,
a new word.
it's- yeah, he
Relative.
announced-
Oh no,
Announces-
yeah, no. When the Bane trilogy came out and like
Yeah. He announces the secret weapon, the thought bomb.
the thought bomb. That's OUGHT, right? It is now. Yes, it is. Anytime I read the horrible scars of Rusan, booty shorts laying everywhere, and the sound of clapping in the wind.
I just imagine him doing this whole monologue of like, you will now suffer
You will
the
suffer.
ultimate dark side of my thought bomb.
My thought bomb. Yes. Oh, Yoda was very cautious when entering Darth Bane's
Sounds like
tomb.
One of
This
those
is where Callie
old
comes
like
in.
college humor episodes they did
Yeah.
back in the day. The Star Wars ones they
We
did.
better get credited for that.
Yeah, if you see one of those, if I see a thought bomb out there, I just want to do a voiceover. Come on, something. Oh man. But yeah, there is a lot of amazing ancient stuff that the Sith used to do that went to the EU pretty much. Which they could, yeah, Acolyte could help bring that back. Andor is bringing back the like foot on the ground soldier vibe, just like the everyday man, the Han Solo kind of thing, where they're good at what they do, but they're not Jedi. And then we'll eventually. I like this break we're taking from the Skywalkerism, or like where it is the grandiose Force using Jedi who run the entire show.
Yeah,
also love
I
the-
really,
Yeah.
I really don't want to see much continuation on from the Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I hate them. It's that it's hard. It's been so long since we've had Anakin, Luke,
Yeah.
Leia, all them, all the classic Skywalkers to really play off of it. I mean, the movies had a hard time of it because it's just been so long. It's the glory days, it's the
Yeah.
days you look back to now to kind of feed off of it. It almost feels cheap. Give somebody else a chance. That's the whole point of Rey to begin with. Okay, I almost went on another tangent about Palpatine. I won't do it. I promise.
This is not a Palpatine friendly channel, damn it. He's overrated. He's not that cool.
We don't. The whole point. You don't need a a nostalgia name to make somebody special.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm hoping they learn. You don't have to tie it into somebody that's already there. Somebody can earn. Like Ahsoka did that. Ahsoka earned her name outright. I mean,
Yeah.
if she
That's
was
why
a real
she has
person,
such a huge fan base now.
Yep.
because
huge
she
fan
earned that
base.
right.
Yep.
Just like Luke did, just like Anakin did. And you don't have to tie it. Even with her ties to Anakin, she didn't rely on that as the writers didn't rely on Anakin to make her popular.
They did the smart thing and they made some
They
of
did
her
the
strongest
opposite.
episodes. Yeah, her strongest episodes. Anakin was nowhere near her.
Well, that's the best part is when you start progressing in the seasons, you want to see less and less of Anakin. You want to see more and more of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You want to see more and more of the clones. That
Whenever
was
you see
great
Obi-Wan
writing.
and Anakin and Ahsoka all together, it's just a them Duke boys kind of situation, and then the episode ends. At least the other one, yeah. When you saw just one of them, that's when things kind of got a lot more into like the emotional depth and the
Yeah, well,
backstories.
It's the thing is like when the episodes they're in it, everything can be solved with just the words Anakin or Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
It's like we already know what's gonna happen.
yeah. One of these two did something stupid. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have removed them from being together a long time ago. Yeah, we know, but we just didn't.
We didn't think it'd be that big of a problem.
We just thought the Force that would work itself out, and apparently the Force worked us out.
Last words of Mace Windu. I told you so.
Yeah. When rushing by him, I told you so.
Or just the Force Ghost show up
Yeah.
to Yoda. He just gives him the stare. Really?
Just looking down at him, and he just looks at. And like, knew I did.
Your apprentice. Let's how far are we gonna go, Anakin?
I do love the jokes that always get made though about like Return of the Jedi ends, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then Anakin's ghost shows up, And then Force Ghost Yoda is just like, he's not allowed here. What is he doing here?
I believe they did that on Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chickens has an amazing version of that.
But they did that when he shows up. They're like, like, what are you doing here?
There's another funny one in the Lego one with that.
Yeah,
too.
Palpatine shows up. Palpatine's Force Ghost shows up. He's like, hey, we're all just Force Ghosty guys, right? Hey, we're all friends. And then Mace Windu just like beats him up and throws him.
Which to me brought up like a good point of like, wait, if he's dead, does that mean he's really dead? And that the clone is something new, or is
That's you thinking about a Lego series way too
I don't
legitimately.
I think they did that before or they didn't really consider that Palpatine's clone. I don't know.
Right. Let's see what we got.
Force.
Is
Yeah,
Darth
the
Bane
Force and
just
clones.
Zuckerberg, and the Thought Bomb is just Instagram in the metaverse? I could see that.
Don't give Disney any ideas.
Yeah.
don't give Zuckerberg any ideas.
Yeah, he'll buy Disney just to put the metaverse.
Yeah, no, Zuckerberg's stuck with the metaverse. He ain't
Oh
going anywhere
boy.
anymore.
Yeah.
He's already lost that battle.
Right.
Somebody needs to show him. I'm going off Star Wars. Let's say
Well, I mean,
free software that did what he was trying to do way better a long time ago, which
Right.
is VR chat. But yeah, that's another.
like in Star Wars, it's poetic. It
Yeah.
rhymes. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. That was a really fun one. Super happy that we were all able to get everything working. And
post Andor talk.
yeah. So on the count that my young child has now hurt his face, I'm gonna go deal with that.
Hopefully next week we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll get more actually footage
Yeah,
or
some trailers, some stuff like that. That
more
would be
info
super
on
helpful.
all the drops from the Brazil Expo.
Right.
I
So,
can't
guys,
remember.
do have an amazing rest of your weekend. And as always, may the Force